Ever wondered why some people get richer, even when they don't earn more? And why others struggle no matter how hard they work? I'll break down the powerful money lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book that changed how millions think about wealth. If you're serious about building a life of freedom, not just a paycheck, stay with me till the end. Because how you think about money changes everything. We all want good grades, good jobs, but schools focus on scholastic and professional skills, but not on financial skills. This explains how smart bankers, doctors, and accountants who earned excellent grades may struggle financially all of their lives. Proper physical exercise increases your chances for health, and proper mental exercise increases your chances for wealth. Robert Kiyosaki's father recommended, study hard so you can find a good company to work for. But Mike's dad, his rich dad, recommended, study hard so you can find a good company. There is a difference between being poor and being broke. Broke is temporary, poor is eternal. Although both dads had tremendous respect for education and learning, they disagreed about what they thought was important to learn. One wanted to study hard, earn a degree, and get a job to earn money. He wanted Robert to study to become a professional, an attorney, or an accountant, and go to business school for his MBA. The other encouraged him to study to be rich, to understand how money works, and to learn how to have it work for him. Money is one form of power, but what is more powerful is financial education. Money comes and goes, but if you have the education about how money works, you gain power over it and can begin building wealth. The reason positive thinking alone does not work is because most people went to school and never learned how money works. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money to work for them. If you can't make up your mind decisively, then you will never learn to make money anywhere. Opportunities come and go. Being able to know when to make quick decisions is an important skill. Life is the best teacher of all, most of the time. Life does not talk to you, it just sort of pushes you around. Each push is saying, wake up, there's something I want you to learn. True learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. Anger is a big part of that formula. For passion is anger and love combined. When it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them. Fear does. Most people given more money only get into more debts. Just know that it's fear that keeps most people working at a job. The fear of paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. That's the price of starting to learn a profession or trade and then working for money. Most people become a slave to money and then get angry at their boss. As for tax, the government takes its share first. You're taxed when you earn. You're taxed when you spend. You're taxed when you pay. You're taxed when you save. You're taxed when you die. Then, why do people let the government do that to them? The rich don't. The poor and the middle class do. Most people never study the subject. They go to work, get their paycheck, balance their checkbooks, and that's it. Then they wonder why they have money problems. They think that more money will solve the problem and don't realize that it's their lack of financial education that is the problem. People's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. First, the fear of being without money motivates us to work hard, and then, once we get that paycheck, greed or desire starts us thinking about all the wonderful things money can buy. The pattern is set. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. People's lives are forever controlled. Offer them more money and they continue the cycle by increasing their speed. That is what rat race is. Instead of admitting the truth about how they feel, they react to their feelings and fail to think. They feel the fear, so they go to work, hoping that money will soothe the fear, but it doesn't. It continues to haunt them, and they return to work, hoping again that money will calm their fears, and again it doesn't. Fear keeps them in this trap for working, earning money, hoping the fear will go away. But every day they get up, and that old fear wakes up with them. For millions of people, that old fear keeps them awake all night, causing a night of turmoil and worry. So they get up and go to work, hoping that a paycheck will kill that fear gnawing at their soul. Money is running their lives, and they refuse to tell the truth about that money is in control of their emotions and their souls. It's perfectly natural to want something better, more comfort, more fun, more beauty. That's why most people work for money. They chase it because they believe money will bring joy. And yes, it does, for a moment. But the joy fades, and they start needing more money to feel it again, more pleasure, more security, more enough. But here's the twist. The rich don't get rich because of desire alone. They often do it out of fear. The fear of being poor. They believe money can erase that fear. So they earn more, save more, hoard more. And then, the fear evolves. Now they're not afraid of being poor. They're afraid of losing what they have. And just like that, money becomes their master, not their tool. So many say, I'm not interested in money, yet give 8 hours a day to earn it. What they don't realize is this. Fear and desire, not money itself, control them. Rich Dad didn't want blind workers. He wanted thinkers, people who master money instead of fearing it. Schools don't teach us to understand money. They teach us to serve it. Fear shoves us out the door. Desire lures us with dreams. And so we stay stuck, chasing comfort, avoiding truth. But until we learn to use our emotions to think, not let emotions do the thinking, we stay trapped. A job isn't a plan. It's a pause. The real question is there another way? The answer begins with understanding. And that is what Rich Dad wanted all along. If people are prepared to be flexible, keep an open mind and learn, they will grow richer and richer despite tough changes. If they think money will solve problems, they will have a rough ride. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. If you want to be rich, you need to be financially literate. Rich people acquire assets. The poor and the middle class acquire liabilities that they think are assets. Accounting is possibly the most confusing, boring subject in the world, but if you want to be rich in the long term, it could be the most important subject. Rule 1. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability and buy assets. Rich Dad believed in the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid, or keep it super simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. I'll try to describe the cash flow. See you soon in the next video. If you want to be rich, simply spend your life buying assets. Illiteracy, both in words and numbers, is the foundation of financial struggle. Cash flow tells the story of how a person handles money. Money only accentuates the cash flow pattern running in your head. A fool and his money is one big party. What is missing from their education is not how to make money but how to manage money. It's called financial aptitude. What you do with the money once you make it, how to keep people from taking it from you, how to keep it longer, and how to make the money work hard for you. A person can be highly educated, professionally successful, and financially illiterate. The process repeats itself. Higher income causes higher tax, also called bracket creep. More money seldom solves someone's money problem. Intelligence solves problems. If you find you have dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. The power story. The Japanese were aware of 3 powers: the power of the sword, the jewel, and the mirror. The sword symbolizes the power of weapons. America has spent trillions of dollars on weapons, and because of this, is a powerful military presence in the world. The jewel symbolizes the power of money. There is some degree of truth to the saying, remember the golden rule, he who has the gold makes the rules. The mirror symbolizes the power of self-knowledge. This self-knowledge, according to the Japanese legend, was the most treasured of the 3. It is said that the fear of public speaking is a fear greater than death for most people. According to psychiatrists, the fear of public speaking is caused by the fear of ostracism, the fear of standing out, the fear of criticism, the fear of ridicule, and the fear of being an outcast. Occasionally, we need to look at the mirror and be true to our inner wisdom rather than our fears. Many financial problems are caused by trying to keep up with the Joneses. An intelligent person hires people who are more intelligent than he is. When we were told to follow said procedures and not deviate from the rules, we could see how school discouraged creativity. Schools were designed to produce good employees instead of employers. Why the rich get richer? The asset column generates more than enough income to cover expenses. With the balance reinvested into the asset column continues to grow, and therefore the income it produces grows with it. The result is that the rich get richer. Why the middle class struggle? The middle class find itself in a constant state of financial struggle. Their primary income is through their salary. As their wages increase, so do their taxes. Their expenses tend to increase in proportion to their salary increase. Hence, the rich treat their home as their primary asset instead of investing in income-producing assets. Increased spending throws families into greater debt and into more financial uncertainty, even though they may be advancing in their jobs and receiving raises on a regular basis. This is high-risk living caused by weak financial education. Once you understand the difference between an asset and a liability, concentrate your efforts on buying income-generating assets. That's the best way to get started on a path to becoming rich. Keep doing that and your asset column will grow. Keep liabilities and expenses down so more money is available to continue pouring into the asset column. The investment is not risky for the financially literate. As Robert says, if I want to increase my expenses, I first must increase my cash flow to maintain this level of wealth. Also, it is at this point that I am no longer dependent on my wages. I have been successful in building an asset column that has made me financially independent. If I quit my job today, I'd be able to cover my monthly expenses with the cash flow from my asset. My next goal would be to have the excess cash flow from my assets reinvested into the asset column. The more money that goes into my asset column, the more assets column grows. The more my assets grow, the more the cash flow grows. The rich buy assets, the poor only have expenses. The middle class buy liabilities, they think are assets. As for Chapter 3, mind your own business. The rich focus on their asset columns while everyone else focuses on their income statement. Financial struggle is often the result of people working all their lives for someone else. Mind your own business. Many people will simply have nothing at the end of their working days to show for their efforts. But there is a big difference between you, your profession, and your business. The mistake is becoming what you study is that too many people forget to mind their own business. They spend their lives minding someone else's business and making that person rich. Start minding your own business. Keep your daytime job, but start buying real assets, not liabilities or personal effects that have no real value once you get them home. A new car loses nearly 25% of the price you pay for the moment you drive it off the lot. It is not a true asset, even if your banker lets you list it as one. Keep expenses low, reduce liabilities, and diligently build a base of solid assets. For young people who have not yet left home, it is important for parents to teach them the difference between an asset and a liability. So, what kind of assets is Robert suggesting that you and your children acquire? In Robert's world, real assets fall into the following categories. Businesses that do not require my presence, I own them, but they are managed or run by other people. If I have to work there, it's not a business. It becomes my job. Second one is stocks third, bonds fourth, income generating real estate fifth, note sixth, royalties from intellectual properties such as music, scripts, and parents seventh, anything else that has a value, produces income, or appreciates and has a ready market. The better you are at understanding the accounting and cash management, the better you would be at analyzing investments and eventually starting and building your own company. So if you only really have the desire to own your own company, do as Robert recommended it. Otherwise, you keep your day job and mind your own business. When he says mind your own business, he means to build and keep your asset column strong. Once a dollar goes into it, never let it come out. The best thing about money is that it works 24 hours a day and can work for generations. Keep your day job, be a great hard-working employee, but keep building that asset column. Rich people buy luxuries last. The old money people, the long-term rich, build their asset column first. A true luxury is a reward for investing in and developing a real estate. History of taxes and power of corporations. Taxes were once meant for the rich, but now the middle class carries the weight. Meanwhile, the rich use corporations to protect their money, paying less in taxes, while the average person pays more. Robert teaches, don't just work for money. Learn the rules. Play smart. Use money like the rich do, through corporations, not as individuals. If you work for money, you give the power to your employer. If money works for you, equip the power and control it. And with money comes great power that requires the right knowledge to keep it and make it multiply. Without that knowledge, the world pushes you around. The harder you work, the more you pay to the government. Be smart and you won't be pushed around as much. If you know you are right, you are not afraid of fighting back. Robert reminds people that financial IQ is made up of knowledge from 4 broad areas of expertise: 1 accounting to investing, 3 understanding markets, 4 the law. We all have tremendous potential and we all are blessed with gifts. Yet the one thing that holds all of us back is some degree of self-doubt. It is not so much that lack of technical information that holds us back, but more the lack of self-confidence. It is not so much what happens, but how many different financial solutions you can think of to turn a lemon into millions. It is how creative you are in solving financial problems. Most people only know one solution: work hard, save and borrow. So then why would you want to increase your financial intelligence? Because you want to be the kind of person who creates your own luck. You take whatever happens and make it better. Few people realize that luck is created just as money is. And if you want to be luckier and create money instead of working hard, then your financial intelligence is important. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. It is a trained will. It can create enormous wealth. Winners don't fear failure, they use it. Most people avoid losing, so they never learn to win. Schools punish mistakes, but in life, mistakes are how we grow. To build wealth, learn to manage cash flow, systems, and people, and master sales and communication. Real freedom comes from turning earned income into passive and portfolio income. The rich aren't lucky, they're educated, confident, and less afraid of loss. Want wealth? Invest in your mind. Make smart choices today, and teach your children, because no one else will. I'll be back soon with a deep dive into cash flow and your next moves, because wealth isn't a dream, it's a decision. Until then, take care, and keep choosing wisely.